All right. Hello, welcome to the Club World Cup journey. Group B, game or match day two. Whew. Ah, man, surprises in store today. I think this group became a little bit more exciting for for one particular reason. We'll talk about that game second, but we'll first go into Atletico Madrid and yeah, they beat up on Seattle Sounders after the drubbing that they took from PSG. They needed to bounce back, and they bounced back in the best way possible. They made some changes to their team, and I think Seattle just didn't stand a chance against Atletico. I think that the level of quality disparity was shown on display. I think MLS teams in general have been the weakest in the tournament, and for me, I feel like Atleti has given them a chance of making it to the next round. Obviously, we'll talk about other things of that nature. Obviously, they got the first goal. Seattle Witzel got the second, and then Seattle came back with one, but then they came back again, and I feel like it could have been more. It could have been more for Atleti. I think their shooting boots wasn't on to the fullest, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I think were in Seattle was in the wrong group. I think if they were in a different group, maybe they would have had a better chances. But I just think they're in a group with three very, very strong teams, two strong European teams, and uh, one strong South American team. And I've said it many times that the South American teams are usually the teams that take this tournament real serious. But yeah, Atleti came 3-1. I think 3-1 flattered Seattle in all cases. I don't believe Atletico Madrid is a threat in terms of the tournament overall. Um, I think it is a possibility that they don't make it out of the group stage as well. I think when it comes to their final game, they have Botafogo, and that's going to be a very difficult matchup for them. I think the way that Botafogo is defensively and the way that Atleti, even against Seattle, didn't take all their chances, I think doesn't really bode well for them. I think they find it hard to get their finishing boots in. I think their attackers are on the decline in terms of like when you look at the likes of Griezmann and etc. etc. But yeah, they just beat up Seattle really. In all intents and purposes, they beat them up. They won the game with ease, and I think for me, when it come to that game as well, in terms of Seattle and the MLS in general in this tournament, I feel like that Seattle in particular and the MLS, it shows that there needs to be an improvement, a growth in within, still needs growth within the league. In my opinion, I think with the MLS teams especially, I think there's still a long way to go before they get up that level. I feel like when it comes to the MLS, and I think this is probably the good thing about a World Cup being in America um, next year as well, is when it comes to World Cups, especially in a developed country like America, and it's in Mexico and Canada, I think it'll cultivate more fans. I think this tournament not so much, I would say, but I think in this game, and for me, Atleti had some good finishes. Their first goal was really nice, but yeah, I just think the MLS in general needs to work on the level and quality and work on the ground level as well. I think it's about cultivating talent. I think America has too many players or has too many people not to be able to make the level worth of talent. I know there's other competitions or other sports that they focus on, especially when it comes to things of such as like basketball, American football. But I feel like foot or football or soccer in general is being played more and more, and I just think they need to have a better what's what am I thinking of? A better barrier for entry for soccer in terms of the professional level. I feel like it needs to be something that is looked at as something that needs to improve over time. I think if there needs to be legit investment from America in itself in terms of its football and the MLS and the quality of ball that it creates. Um, for Atleti, Barrios was their best player. He's a quality baller. But yeah, I think Atleti are gonna not make out the group because I think they're gonna struggle against Botafogo. And the reason why I say this is because of what happened in the Botafogo game. One of the first real shocks of the tournament, PSG, who was so dominant against Atletico Madrid in their first game, um, struggled against Botafogo. It felt like they were lethargic. It felt like they may be a bit tired. It felt like they couldn't break down what Botafogo was trying to do. And as soon as Botafogo got that goal, they had something to defend, and they defended with their lives. I think the level of defending and their ability to keep out PSG will be commendable. I think they had a game plan, they stuck to it. And I said once they got that goal against PSG, it was just from there where they just kept them at bay. And with all the talent that PSG have, and this is the reason why I think Atleti's not gonna make it, is because if they can implement a similar style against Atleti, I don't think Atleti doesn't have the same talent that PSG do, and I don't think they'll be able to break them down either. And if they can get a cheeky goal, which is possible as well, obviously it was a deflected finish, but that's the thing about football. Sometimes you just got to take your chance. You make a shot, it ricochets, it goes in, and then from then you have something to play for. And I think once they had something to play for, it it made it easier for them to keep them out. I think the keeper was brilliant. He made some absolutely amazing saves. Defensively, the blocks, the challenges. I feel like for me, Botafogo showed what South American football was all about: the passion, the willingness to defend, the willingness to do what was necessary to keep themselves in the game, and a brilliant win. And I think, as I said, the shock of the tournament so far, a big win for Botafogo against PSG, on and continues the descent of South American teams being undefeated in this tournament. They haven't lost one game in this tournament, South American teams. So I've said it many times. South American teams are the teams that you don't really want to face in a Club World Cup with their passion, with their desire, they want to win this. It's not the same desire that the European teams have. I feel like they take their leagues or the Champions League more seriously than this tournament, and you can't be in gear one or two when it comes to playing up against some of these South American teams. You need to shift up into gear three. You need to get to that next level because then you won't be able to break them down. You won't be able to to carry it the same level. And I think that's the reason why Botafogo won the game. That's the reason why PSG were unable to take their chances. And these games happen in football. Sometimes a team wants it more, and even if you have the better quality, all it takes is them to get a lead, and you can have a defensive masterclass like they did. I mean that for me, Botafogo put out the Jose Mourinho special right there. Get the 1-0, and then not scam the win, but defend for their lives, park the bus for the win, and it was a brilliant win, and I think that pretty much puts them through. Obviously, they got Atleti the last game. I think they get a point at least out of that game as well. I don't think they lose that. So, and with PSG playing Seattle, I think it's going to be unfortunately that Atleti are going to look like the team to get out the group. Atleti is going to have to turn up into another level. They're going to need to be able to have their finishing boots on. Barrios is going to need to play at the level that he did against Seattle, and they're going to need to take the chances that they get in order to beat this Botafogo team. Because if you give them an opportunity or a sniff at goal, they have they do have the players that can take their chances. A couple Igor Jesus and players of that nature. A couple of them are going to Nottingham Forest as well. Some good signings for Forest. So yeah, man. First shock of the tournament. Big win for Botafogo. Um, and yeah, we're gonna see it. It's funny. It's funny. I was expecting most of the European teams to get through, but in the first two groups, we're looking at European teams both being eliminated from both Group A and Group B. So that's the craziness of this tournament. I feel like it coming so soon after the season and after the Nations League. You see the different levels of desire, of mentality, of execution, of heart, and you can see that the willingness and the want to run and to play at an intense level is different between the teams due to the way the league season has ended and going on to this tournament. So it's gonna it's there. I think this is gonna be the first of many surprises going forward. And yeah, a European team's gonna be out. Which one is it? Gonna be PSG or Atleti? I'm going with Atleti, but who knows? Maybe Seattle pull out a shock. Anyway, this has been African King Academy. The Club World Cup journey continues. Group B, match week 2, and I'm out. Peace.